This is massive for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mitch Marner is finally making his return back from injury, as well as the captain John Tavares gives Austin Matthews some high praise, and I'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say if you're one of the thousands of people watching this that aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure down below and hit that subscribe button for your daily dose of NHL Leafs hockey content here on YouTube. But with that said, let's go right into the first topic of the video today, which is Mitch is back. And yes, as we see here, the Toronto Maple Leafs all-star winger is set to return to action Saturday in Montreal after missing 12 games due to a reported high ankle sprain injury. Yet he will not be skating alongside 70 goals hunting Austin Matthews on the top line. This is what Sheldon Keefe had to say. He said, to have those guys on different lines presents some really good options and spreads out our scoring depth really well. So we'll give it a look. Coach Sheldon Keefe told reporters at Friday's practice. He also went on to say here, for now, Keefe is sticking with Bertuzzi, Matthews, and Domi up on that top line. That unit has outscored the opposition 9-6 in Marner's absence and generated 67.9% of the expected goals when thrown over the boards. Marner will join left wing Bobby McMann and John Tavares' second line, while Nylander will be expected to drive the Toronto's less experienced third line, bumping Nick Robertson to the press box. Because the Maple Leafs are essentially locked into the Atlantic Division third seed, Keefe can afford to experiment with his combinations down the stretch. And to give you guys a little bit of a visual clearance here of what these lines will look like going into tonight's game. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing Bertuzzi, Matthews, Domi, like they noted there in the article. We'll see McMahon, Tavares, Marner. We'll see Nyes, Holmberg, Nylander on that third line, which I think is going to be a sneaky one. And we have Dewar, Kempf, and Reeves on that fourth line. That really hasn't changed. But this is very interesting. First, just want to say, this is great to have Mitch Marner back. Obviously, this guy is such, a dominant force out there on the ice for this Toronto Maple Leafs hockey club. He can go out there, he can get you assists, he can score goals as well. But he is a guy who can also go out there and generate and help defensively as well. Obviously, as we talked about multiple times on this channel, in his absence, this guy's a great 200-foot player. He can contribute offensively, and he's just great with his stick defensively. And having him back is really going to make a difference here. I think a lot of Leafs fans after tonight's game are really going to notice what it's like when Mitch Marner's in the lineup, because they're going to have a lot of experience back. They're going to have Marner back. Obviously, with him not playing on that top line, it's going to throw a little bit of a wrench into it, but I do like the lines put forward here by Sheldon Keefe. I think since that top line in Marner's absence has been producing a lot, I think it is great to give them another opportunity here now that they're locked into the playoffs. They clinched their playoff spot, that they can, go with these lines, shake it up a little bit to see what, is best going into the playoffs for this team. I think playing him with Tavares on that second line with McMahon, I think that line's also going to be, a banger one as well. I think, Marner, obviously great playmaker. Johnny T can clean him up in front of the net, and McMahon, obviously we've seen him, how much he's developed over this year for this club, and I think playing with these two guys is really going to help him as well. And Nylander moving down to that third line here with Nyes and Holmberg. I think this is a great line as well. I think Nylander, obviously this guy has been a beast for this Toronto Maple Leafs hockey club all season long, but, maybe sliding him down to this third line with Matthew Nyes, a little bit of a younger guy, I think this will really help as well. I think, Nylander, obviously he's a guy who can score a lot of goals. He's also showed this year to be a great playmaker, improved his playmaking game drastically, so maybe having him with Matthew Nyes, a guy who's just so great at getting into the corners on the forecheck and getting the pucks out to his goal scorers on his line. I think they're really going to benefit from this as well. And Holmberg, obviously, he's been, a pretty decent center for them all year, pretty solid, and I think this line is going to be a sneaky one. I think we're going to see, I think, a goal generated from this line here tonight, and I really like, the way he's kind of shaking it up here with Marner coming back, and now that they're locked in, they don't need to worry about, winning these games. I think, experimenting with these lines going into the playoffs is really going to help, because, if they're, down in a game in the playoffs, and Sheldon Keefe needs to do something on the fly, he has options to go back back to, because they've seen towards the end of the regular season what these guys are playing like with each other. And I just think this is great. Obviously, Mitch Marner's back. Everybody's hyped up. It's going to be great to see Mitch back out there on the ice tonight. And I hope he can pop one in his return. I think that would be so fun. And obviously, Austin Matthews on the cruise to 70 here, and we're on 70 watch here for Austin Matthews, and I really hope he does get it, which kind of moves us into our next topic of the video here today, which is Leafs captain praises Matthews. And yes, as we see here, this was John Tavares after he was asked, should Austin Matthews be under consideration for the Hart and Selke trophies this year? And Tavares said this: he should be right there. He should be, to me, he's right in the mix and should be nominated for both. I think the type of season he's having, what he can potentially do here from a goal-scoring standpoint, and to be able to do that and just be as well-rounded as he is just even more impressive. He's not just a trigger guy or always just put in offensive situations. He plays in all areas of the game. He carries play, wins so many puck battles. Obviously, his takeaways are exceptional. I don't think he always gets enough credit for just how smart he is and just how he is always consistently finding openings, open space, and just the timing and all those sort of things. So he's just as well-rounded as the players you're going to find in our game today. So it'd be great to see him get the recognition on both of those fronts. And I think this is, a great quote from John Tavares saying, he's seen Austin Matthews, how much he's kind of improved his game during his time since he's been in Toronto, saying, he's not just a goal scorer, but he does so much other things like off the stat sheet that should put him in contention for these trophies. And I really do think we will see Austin Matthews' name dropped in for the Hart, dropped in for the Selke this year. With Patrice Bergeron gone, the Selke's kind of wide open. Guys who I've kind of seen there is Reinhart, Suzuki. These are kind of some rumored names that I've seen around this trophy this year. And I think Austin Matthews will be right there. I think, in this conversation, I think he's definitely there. And for the Hart, the MVP of the league, I think, it's going to come down to him, Kucherov, and McDavid. And I think you can make a case for any of those guys. But if Austin Matthews hits 70, I really do think that might put him over the bump where a lot of people will be like, hey, we haven't seen 70 goals in a long time. Maybe this guy deserves the Hart this year. He might not have 130 points or whatever, but he does have 70 goals. So that will put him in that conversation as well. So just hearing this come out of John Tavares just shows how much support he has for these guys and how highly he thinks of his teammates. And this is great to see, honestly, because obviously, as everybody knows, Austin Matthews is having a career year here. He's kind of exploded out of the barrel, for lack of a better phrase, here this year. And it's great to see him get the recognition he is getting from his captain, and seeing how his captain, he should be saying he should be in the conversations for these trophies is great to see. But I want to hear from you guys down below in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Austin Matthews should be in the conversation for the Hart and the Selke? Let me know down below, because he has Maurice Richard locked up as of now. And let me know, what do you think about Mitch Marner coming back? What do you think about these new lines that Sheldon Keefe has kind of put forward here tonight? Let me know down below. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Jimmy. He says, being from Kingston and watching Shane Wright in the OHL, it was actually surprised they didn't fall out of the top 10 in the draft. And shout out to you, Jimmy, for commenting on the video. We see your comments on the video all the time here on the channel. I really appreciate all the support you're giving. And of course, the day I do a Shane Wright a bust video, he goes out and gets 2 goals and 1 assist. Maybe, Hat-Trick HQ, give him a little bump here to, start off and start, showcasing his ability here in the NHL, which is great to see. I love Shane Wright, like I said in yesterday's video. I think he has so much potential, and I think, at 20, you can't call him a bust quite yet. But shout out to you, Jimmy, for commenting on the video. Really appreciate seeing that. And if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,500 subscribers here on the channel. So if you're looking for a place for daily NHL, daily Leafs, daily hockey news all around the hockey world, you found it right here at Hat-Trick HQ. So go down below and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out that video I did yesterday on Shane Wright and on the Leafs, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.